Hey, welcome to our VBS painting zone. Every year I like to give you a little rundown of how we always paint and organize our set construction and design for VBS. And this is sort of where it all begins. Over here is our design center, and what we have going on here is the drawing of what our set is going to look like. We've got our full set design from wall to wall, floor to ceiling, every single thing, and how we want the set to end up looking at the end of what our construction will be in just a few weeks. And then, as you continue to look down, each little piece that's in our set is then broken down. We have a huge ziggurat that's the middle of our set this year, and then that piece is kind of broken down into how it's going to go together. And then as you keep looking, and there's more on this wall here and other places, you know, our memory verse sign is here, and some of the inspirational pieces and where they're going to be for all the individual pieces that are going on our set, and also maybe in our hallways and in our foyers and our decorating. So there's some common things that we do every single year for VBS. One of them, of course, is start with drawing it out and then breaking it down into its individual pieces. Once we've got those individual pieces, we then put those pieces onto transparencies. As you can see here, here's a big, looks to be like a waterfall that's going to be in our set. And so maybe that's backwards. I don't know. No, there it goes. There it is. That's the right way up. So this is a waterfall and how it breaks down into the cardboard that we're painting. Most of what we do with cardboard, we do in 4x8 sections, because we order a whole bunch of 4x8 sheets from a local cardboard factory. It's just plain brown corrugated cardboard, and that's what we paint everything on. Sometimes we also get 6-foot by 8-foot sheets as well for some of our larger projects. So once we've drawn it here, or sometimes we copy it onto a transparency sheet, we use overhead projectors to project it onto the cardboard and to trace it out and then begin painting. All right, but actually sometimes we don't necessarily begin just with the transparency. Sometimes if we know what color we're going to want, we're going to roll out that whole sheet of cardboard first as a full colored sheet. I wanted to show you what else we do over here. When our painters come in, we want them to have all the supplies that they could imagine. And so we set up a little supply area here. So this is where they'll find their paint brushes, their rollers, their roller covers, masking tape if they need it, straight edges, roller sticks so that they don't have to be on the floor rolling, they can be standing up, paint trays, anything you can imagine, plastic bags, aluminum foil, anything you need. We have it all set out so that when our volunteers come in, whether they're here in the middle of the day or whether they come at night, they know that all their supplies are here. Back there you see our overhead projectors. We really don't use those for anything else anymore. They're strictly a VBS item that sit in a closet most of the year, but they are invaluable to have when it comes to VBS. You have to have those. Let's head over to some of the tables of where we're working on some of the projects right now so that you can see a little bit of what we've done. Here we're working on some of the signage that's going to be going up, some start and finish signs. What we would have done with these is, say these purple signs, for example, we would have rolled out a whole sheet of purple, then we would have cut it into these shapes and then added the lettering to it. If we go over here to some of our larger pieces, here's a great one over here that we're kind of in the middle of painting. We love to emphasize either all or part of our memory verse every year. And this year, we're emphasizing every tribe, every tongue, every nation. And so these large 6-foot by 5-foot or so panels are going to be hung at the very top by our ceiling in our worship center where we have our opening and closing sessions. And you can see what we did here is we painted a big section of yellow on this large sheet, a small section of red, and now we're coming back. We came back, we did an overhead projector of these swirls, drew those out with pencil, painted those in green. We also did the overhead projector with the wording, every tribe, and those are in process right now. One of the big things that we do, you don't see it here on this one, but that'll be coming soon. Well, all this stuff will be outlined in black. By outlining your lettering in black, okay, and even some of your design work in black and doing a nice thick black line around everything, either with a marker or with black paint, you're really going to let those letters pop. and we want them to be seen from a distance, and we really want the kids to get this verse down. So outlining your items is fantastic. We even do that with our animals and all the different features. Just on the outside, we outline them in black so that they stand out from anything else that's around them, because we don't want to lose any of that great detail. Another thing that we do, not only do we have painting zones, we also have a cutting zone. If you're making everything out of cardboard, you're going to have to cut those shapes out, and we do that over here in our gym. So what we have going on here is just tables set up, and we throw a bunch of cardboard on top of these tables, 2 or 3 sheets thick, so that as our folks are cutting out all the animals, all the rocks, and whatever else we're doing, that they're not going to hurt any of our tables that we need around here as well. Another big tip is, everywhere you look, we are walking on plastic. Now, this plastic, as you can tell, it's been painted on a lot already, and we've only been painting for about 3 or 4 days. And so let me just give you a hint. Paint will find the floor. If you leave this big of a spot with no plastic on it, paint will find that spot. So just cover every square inch with plastic, and you know you're good. So this is a 3-week project for us with going through the painting. You may not have to have this big of a room. You may not have this many pieces. Don't worry about that. You may just pick a few items that you want to go with, but some of these things are great. Get organized. Allow your volunteers to succeed by having all the supplies that they need. Make sure you cover all the stuff that's valuable to you, your floor, your tables, your chairs, to make sure that nothing gets ruined. And just dream big and go for it. And if you want even more information on how we do painting, you can always look back at some of our previous year's videos where we might go into bigger detail of some of the specific items and things like that. And also, make sure you check out my video on how to build a set this year and how we built our set this year, so that you can see some of these pieces once they're completed and how we put them together on our stage. So we'll see you again soon.